I was reading an announcement from basically schools are opening tomorrow, but they're like, if it's not safe for your kid to get there, maybe, well, they're like, for kids who walk, maybe figure out an alternative plan. If your kid drives, an alternative plan, or just keep them home. Like they can't stay or just keep them home, but that's kind of the vibe is if you don't think it is safe, then yeah. But hi and hello everybody. Welcome to our book. Book Talk is a sort of very small book club of me and CB and whoever wants to listen to us that I started because I wanted to force CB to read more of my favorites and I wanted to read some of her favorites, and this gave good motivation, and then we get to talk about it.
It's funny how that works.
For the month, CB's official February pick is Howl's Moving Castle. So,
by Diana Wynne Jones.
Yes.
Howl's Moving Castle is.
Oh, I was gonna say it's actually book one of a trilogy, like Castles series. So.
Not interconnected though.
No, they are.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it says Howl's Moving Castle, and
Hi, Storm.
Howl's Moving Castle on the Air, and then there's a third one that escapes me that all take place in the Howl's Moving Castle universe and are connected to each other. Which I don't think, I think I misspoke at one of our other streams. I don't think Castle in the Sky is an adaptation of Castle in the Air anymore.
Oh, it's just okay. Because I'm like, I don't think Castle in the Sky and Castle and Howl's Moving Castle would be of the same vibe.
They did.
Okay, so Howl's Moving Castle follows Sophie Hatter, the eldest daughter of 3. Her father was a hat maker, and then her stepmother and the woman who raised her and her sisters, and then is her youngest sister's biological mother, Franny. They work on the hat shop, and then when her father dies, her sisters are Letty and Marta.
Is it Martha or Martha?
I don't know. I'm gonna call Martha because that sounds more right. Fine. But I did think it was Marta. Letty and Marta are sent off to apprenticeships while Sophie is kind of left for the shop because she's the eldest daughter. But her sisters do a little switcheroo where Letty is the one that wants to go apprentice under a witch and learn witchcraft, and Marta is the one that wants to stay in town and get married and have 10 children. So she works apprentice as a bakery. But they do a little magical switcheroo, so they look like each other. Sophie, when she works on hats, chats with the hats and tells them about their future and just kind of like idly talks to herself. But in doing so, she weaves magic into the hat themselves. So when she says that a hat is going to attract a handsome, rich gentleman, and then a woman goes and buys the hat, she does attract a handsome, rich gentleman. And very other little casual spell workings like that, which are actually extremely powerful magic. Now, the Witch of the Waste, who... Pause. You guys might recognize Howl's Moving Castle from the movie, Howl's Moving Castle. I realize the Witch of the Waste is very distinct, because it is. Although they're quite different, the Ghibli movie is based on this novel. Both are fantastic. I love both of them very much. But we'll discuss some of the differences and changes later, but this is we're talking about the book right now. The Witch of the Waste comes into the hat shop, and she curses Sophie, one for being using such powerful magic, and 2 because we discovered this later, she was under the impression that Sophie was Letty and knew a bit about the magical shenanigans the Witch of the Waste has been doing so that she can become queen, which include, we find out at the end of the book, taking apart the wizard Solomon, who is the crown wizard, crown sorcerer, um, and then also the prince himself, so that she can make the perfect man to become king that she can marry. As one does.
Which I would just like to say, part of this plan is she takes parts of the prince's body and presumably his.
Something from the wizard Solomon.
Which one of them was the general?
The prince.
Yeah, okay, I wanted to make sure I remembered that right. So presumably the prince's like value is in his military strategy and strength, but she doesn't keep his head.
No, I think she takes him for the royal blood.
Yeah.
And then the wizard Solomon for vibes, I guess. And then she wants Howl's head because he's pretty.
So first of
And,
Sullivan.
magically powerful and smart and
Right.
all that. But, what?
I said she just takes Sullivan like pieces of him for spite.
Yeah, seriously. To lure the other ones in. Which, oof, for him, I guess. Uh, the Witch of the Waste spell, in conjunction with some of Sophie's own insecurities blending with her own magic, turns Sophie into an old woman. Um, Now, Sophie looks around her life and goes, I can't be an old woman here. So she sets off on a grand adventure where she comes across Howl's Moving Castle. And Howl is known as uh, in her town, is known as a evil wizard who steals the hearts of young
He's like
girls.
cannibal.
Yeah, a cannibal. And Sophie, previously in the book, we see her very like nervous and afraid, like she's flirted with at the beginning, which is actually Hal flirting with her. He's in town, and she like is panicked just by like someone talking to her. And so she's a lot going on. But once she turns into an old woman, she has much more like oomph to her because she's too old to be worrying about those things at this point. Um, uh,
Honestly, also her hormones have probably balanced out.
Seriously. I'm like, yeah, she's old now, but like she's so much more put together mentally. She's like, oh, I can just move past all that actually. Which is probably great for her. Actually, it is great for her. We have a whole book why it's great for her.
It's
And
so great
so
for her that way.
along the way on her grand old adventure, she helps out a scarecrow that's been toppled over, which turns out to be the wizard Solomon's familiar, like golem, basically, with part of his soul body. She helps out a dog, which also seems to be part of the wizard and the prince, who's like transformed into a dog. But she just casually helps them out and goes along her way, and sets herself up as Hal's cleaning lady. Within the castle, there lives Michael, who in the movie is like a small child, and in the book is 15. And he is in love with Letty, her younger sister, or her youngest sister. Yes, her youngest sister, who is currently, no, he's in love with Marta, who's the youngest sister, who's working in the bake shop, who goes by Letty at this point because the switcheroo. Um, and it's very cute. She has this whole kind of stressing out about, she thinks Howl is
To
romancing,
eat her sister.
yeah, trying to eat her sister, but romancing Marta as Letty. And then once she's like, no, discovers, or she thinks Marta, that actual Letty is romancing Hal, but that turns out to them just like him trying to romance her and her being like, wait, you know my sister? Referring to Sophie, who's gone missing as far as her family knows. Hal himself, well, before we meet him, is this like scary, unknown figure is a absolute drama queen. He is vain and self-centered, but also terrible with money, but in a good way sometimes because he undercharges the poor, and but he spends all of the money randomly that he gets from the rich and probably with the poor as well. But
I would
Michael does
argue
not allow him access.
I would argue that Hal fulfills the trope crouching dumbass hidden badass, and that he just pretends to be absolutely terrible at everything and stuff. But really he's like he is kind of a mastermind and really good at manipulating stuff. He just wants everybody to perceive him as being absolutely terrible and unreliable and everything. And he continuously calls himself a coward, but
But yeah, well, I think he is a bit of a coward, but like he has coward tendencies, but he'll do the right thing in the end, which is the self fulfilling or the prophecy. So Hal has been cursed by the Witch of the Waste. Wow, my camera just got very yellow. Hal has been cursed by the Witch of the Waste with this song lyric poem about different conditions that he'll have to meet, or that if he meets, then the curse will come true. And then his heart demon, Calcifer, who runs the castle, and then is also on his actual heart in the hearth, and Calcifer is a fallen star that Hal caught. And then they made a deal so that Calcifer wouldn't die, because once a star falls, it dies. Um, and then the Witch of the Waste would have control of someone once you have control of their actual heart, because you can like squeeze it, and uh, the evil queen from
magically it seems as if it's like it's not so much as she takes the heart and then has like mind control over them so much
yeah
as she just threaten them with a lot of torture
yeah.
and pain.
Which was super funny when she squeezes it a little and Hal fully passes out, and she's like, "He's faking," and Ellsworth's like, "No, he just has a really soft heart."
It's like, no, you don't understand.
No, he can just pass out for the final confrontation. Uh, I'm trying to like summarize it still. So we have the Witch of the Waste wants Hal's heart. Calcifer makes a deal with Sophie that he'll allow him to stay if Sophie breaks the contract that Calcifer and Howl have, because he can. This is revealed later that he can sense that Sophie has control over. Like she can give life to something. We see multiple times throughout the novel where she gives life to her walking stick and it becomes magic wand. Basically, she gives all the hats she like imbues with a magic sort of life. She gives life back to the scarecrow. So Calcifer can see that, like, sense in her magic that if she breaks the contract, she can also award him life, which she does at the end. She grants him 1,000 years. Of life, no longer being dependent on Hal's heart. But Sophie, this whole time, is constantly thinking that Hal's falling in love with all of these women, one of which is her sisters. Then there's the school teacher from his nieces and nephews, which, sidebar, Hal's castle has 4 exits to it for the 4 sides of the castle, and one of them goes back to Hal's homeland, the magical land of Wales.
In our Earth.
Yes, on our Earth. So Hal is in fact an isekai protagonist who noped out on his isekai story by being like, "Nah, I'm just gonna like hang out." Actually,
So the Western term for that, which this book would actually fall under, is portal fantasy.
yeah. But it's funnier, I think, saying isekai. And so Hal was a student of like myths and legends and stuff like that, and we don't really know how, but he figured out a portal to a different land. But he can still return back to his sister and her family in Wales and visit and stuff. And on one of those visits, he meets the school teacher there, who's later revealed to be the Witch of the Waste's heart demon, who's kind of controlling the Witch of the Waste and like driving her to be kind of evil at this point. Or
I'd
at
like a sidebar to just say her name bothers me on such a level because her name is Miss Angorian, and I, for some reason, am aware that Angorian means like from Angora. So to me, every time I hear it, it's like, oh yes, Mrs. Angorian. It's basically in my mind like, ah yes, Mrs. British, or ah yes, Mrs. Irish, and I'm like, it just bothers me so
Hey,
much.
the Heart Demon had to come up with a name that fits in with all of these. She's
So
definitely a normal lady.
I was
Um,
like I looked it up. I'm like, maybe she's supposed to be like from Angora, or you know what? Later, I'm gonna see if there's like Angorian myths with fire demons that I just don't know about. I don't even know how I know about Angoria.
I just every time they said her name thought of agoraphobia. And I was like, this is not right, but okay. Um,
So
and
we
so
are agreed in that she needed a different name.
yes. And so uh he's kind of like enamored with her. And Howl falls in love with a woman, but once they fall in love back, he is no longer interested and he breaks their heart. That started along with along with Michael's help, purposely blackening Howl's name. The the horrible rumors about how Howl is evil and terrible. Um,
Well, I
Howl,
like that Michael kind of implies these are things that he heard from aunties of
yes,
the women who are heartbroken, and so he just like made it literal.
Hal and Michael both quite terrified of aunties, which is just funny.
Especially since Sophie pretends to be her sister's aunties.
Yes.
And then
Uh,
is made to be Hal's. Well, she gets tired of being his mother, so she's like, I'm his aunt.
yeah. We bounce between a couple locations. One is Kingsbury, which is where the king is, which is like the fancy capital. One is Port Haven, which is like a seaside town. One is Wales, and then one is something market. Um,
Yeah. I can't remember because I think they just kept saying market side door.
yeah, but they said the actual name, but I can't remember.
I
Which
only tuned into the words market side door.
they had one location other than that before they moved to the market. Well, it was just wandering around the hills by the market town. Um, and there's a lot going on in this book, but eventually it's revealed that Hal, Michael, and Calcifer knew the entire time she was under a curse, that she wasn't just a random old lady. And part of
That
the reason,
literally any magician or witch or anything who met her, and all I adored how all of them were like, did you really, like, they were like, you didn't actually think you were fooling me, right? I'm supposed to be like super good at my job.
yeah,
Like,
um,
I would not in fact be good at my job. I was just playing along.
yeah, part of it is Howl like brings her to his old mentor under the guise of like, oh, practice meeting her because she's very fancy before you go to the king and be pretend to be my old mom to like blacken my name so that I'm not
Yeah.
forced to go and look for the prince because the prince is near the Witch of the Waste and she wants to kill me. And it's actually like Howl reveals it was just a ploy to have his old teacher look at her spell and see if she could fix it as well, which I'm like, guys, why couldn't you all just tell her that you knew? But Hal apparently concluded very cleverly that she enjoyed being cursed. So he's like, I guess I won't bother. And she's like, the fuck are you talking about? Why would I enjoy this? Which is
He's
just
like, I don't know. I wasn't questioning why. I was just
yeah,
accepting the fact.
which is a very silly confrontation. Let's see. I feel like I've definitely jumped around way too much in this explanation. But in the end of the book, Marta, I think it is Marta, not Martha. Marta and Michael get to be together. I want to say Lonnie, but is that her name?
Letty.
Letty, yeah. Letty gets to apprentice under the real wizard Sullivan back in his normal body. The prince gets to return to prevent or work on a war, and Hal and Sophie get to be together, and Sophie returns Hal's heart back to him. The heart
So,
demon. Go ahead.
for what it is worth, her name is spelled Martha, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily pronounced Martha and not still Marta. But
Okay. And Howl is, given his heart back, and him and Sophie get to be together. And Calcifer returns as well because he's like, it's wet and cold outside. I just want the option of freedom, actually.
he's like, I just want to be able to go walk around while you all fight.
Yeah. Throughout the whole book, Calcifer is like, can you tell me like what's going on outside? Like he gets lonely. He tries to like peek out of his hearth and all this stuff. But yeah, that is Howl's Moving Castle. What did you think of the book?
I think the book is fine. It's a good book. It's interesting. It would not go on one of my favorites for a lot of the same reasons the movie doesn't. But I will say that extremely biasly, I was listening to the audiobook, and Welsh Howl is more endearing to me than Christian Bale Howl, despite him being a bigger brat in the book.
Oh yeah, he's such more of a brat.
So, but I still liked him more because he had a Welsh accent, and I like Celtic accents.
I also was listening to the audiobook. I like both stories. Like I know they're the same story, but they're not the same story.
They are not the same story.
No. Not at all. Like in the movie, Hal has this whole like the curse is manifested in this like literal bird form, and it's this whole the Witch of the Waste turns out to be like an ally at the end because she's great. It's this whole thing. And we don't get into that.
The movie focuses more on themes that are like a lot of Ghibli movies that were popular in the 2000s in America focuses on, which is coming of age and accepting the loss of childhood and innocence, and that growing old is just a part of life and there is nothing to be ashamed of it, and that growing old and gaining wisdom and experience can in fact make one more comfortable with themselves, which is what like Sophie did.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is more just kind of focused on a magical love story where even if you can't see the value in yourself, others around you can still see your value and like and support you, and it's a different kind of coming of age. And
yeah, definitely. There's a lot of throughout both. There's different themes of like self-perception, and how that like what you think affects reality. In the movie, it's as Sophie feels more confident, she literally appears younger, and then in the book, it's Sophie's thoughts about things and the way she talks to them literally change reality because she's performing magic and has no idea. Except when she's told that she's a witch, she's like, yeah, that tracks. Okay, cool.
like, actually, you might have a point.
Which I fucking love. I love that she's like, oh, yeah. And her, like, biggest concern is not like, oh my god, I'm a witch, blah, blah, blah. It's, oh shit, I cursed that suit. Or, like, I put a spell on that suit, which is why
I gotta fix that.
Stared at all these young women. I have to fix that in the least effective ways possible.
Really, she just would have given it to Calcifer.
Yeah.
He would have burned it.
Literally. Or like she's like, I have to sew all of these squares back into a previous suit. And I'm like, girl.
I do have to, I know my little thing here is may all your bacon burn, which is the movie quote. The book quote is I hope your bacon burns, but I find the movie quote funnier. So that's why I put that.
The slime scenes are roughly the same, of Hal being like, except Hal keeps the hair in the book. He has pink hair for a big portion of the book. But he goes, I look like uncooked bacon or uncured bacon or something like that. And it's like, does that part of like white?
In the book, it's not actually, I don't think it's supposed to be bubblegum pink. It's just supposed to be strawberry blonde.
Yeah, it's like
because
pinky. I think
Sophie
it's like,
mentions that that's her natural hair color, which also in the book, her hair color goes back to its natural tone. It doesn't stay gray.
yeah. She isn't like physically affected through all she has been through. Although I love the like white hair in the movie, like it's very pretty. But Howl's hair is a kaleidoscope of colors throughout the whole, or not actually, but like he goes through and changes his hair color for funsies and not just for the accident. Um, and Yeah, what do you think of the difference in aesthetics between the book and the movie?
Well, for the first of all, I thought we were just talking about the book today, so I did not watch the book or watch the
The
movie.
movie. Sorry, I yeah.
But
Um,
I'm okay with talking about. I haven't seen it in a while. But the aesthetics of the movie. I mean, I'm a Ghibli fan. I love Ghibli style things, so
yeah,
I like the aesthetics of the movie. Um, the whole drug trippy thing with the shooting stars at the castle is one of the most out there things in a Ghibli film. But
yeah.
um,
I think the like there's like it's like a cozy fantasy, like almost slice of life. It feels like at some point with
the book
how
is
the
yes.
book, yeah, and then it's a very different story and tone wise in the movie. Um,
In the book, the war is only kind of mentioned as a this is a thing that we will have to deal with, and therefore I need my son, whom is
my
say that again.
my brother, the prince is the brother.
Oh, my bad. My brother, who is a like the king, is basically like me, not good at war. My brother, very good at war. I need my brother, and I'm
Yeah,
like, that's fair. And other than that, the war and the military and all of that doesn't really come up at all.
yeah.
Where in the movie, Hal like actively goes out on the front lines to like try to stop bombings and stuff.
Instead of it, the
It
black hole
doesn't.
leads to Wales, it leads to war.
Yes, and I'm
It's a
like,
very different vibe.
I don't. So I don't. I want it to be like I want to be very clear. I don't support war at all. Like I think,
Yeah.
especially in this day and age, there are so many better ways to handle things.
Hmm.
But I support soldiers, like individual soldiers, because they are just like wheels in a cog, and there's a lot of predatory practices as to
Yeah.
how a
Right,
soldier
right.
gets into the military and everything. I grew up in a military, like most of the men in my family have been in the military. I'm in a military town. I've sat in school through the recruiting things and stuff at my high school. But so when I grow up with that, and then some of the Ghibli films, especially when I knew the book didn't have any of that, I'm like, I don't enjoy seeing it, especially when I don't feel it added anything to the story in the movie.
I think it is the story in the movie, but there is plenty story in the book. Um, yeah, I mean, like even the very beginning of the movie, we have when Sophie's walking through the celebration, she runs into two soldiers, and they use the little mouse nickname on her, which is Howl. Like Howl runs into her in the book and is like, "Hey, would you like to get some tea?" Like he asks her out, and she like starts panicking. He's like, "Are you okay?" Verse in the movie, it's this like she comes across these two soldiers. They're kind of predatory, and then she like starts panicking and Hal comes to the rescue. And even just like that sets the tone differently for their relationship and the like who Hal is. Like I know I'm moving the conversation off of the military some, but
Oh, you're good. Like I
like
said, I haven't seen the movie in a long time, and I don't particularly like how it handles a lot of those things, so I try not to think about them.
and so the like Howl and Sophie, so much of the relationship in the book that I enjoy is Sophie's like fairly convinced for a good portion of the beginning of the book that she is searching his castle under the guise of cleaning, not even cleaning very well, because she keeps like having to like clean the chimney and then she has to re-clean the whole room because she's searching for parts of girls that he have eaten and stolen the souls of.
No, to be fair, she actually is cleaning well. Calcifer is the one who, like, because she cleaned the chimney and then Calcifer moved all the soot into the room. So, because like, she's specifically annoyed at Calcifer for that.
No, I thought she was annoyed at him because he didn't tell her that was going to happen. And there's like a couple other things where she, in the process of cleaning something, she re-dirties something else. And there's literally a line where it's like, she's not the most effective, but she's getting the job done. Because she keeps having to like loop back around and redo stuff.
It could be both.
Yeah, and I think part of the she doesn't mind that and doesn't mind doing it in the most effective manner because it's not about her cleaning right now. It's about her looking for girls.
Parts of girls that don't exist.
Yeah. To like set them free. I don't know what her plan there is.
I think she just wants evidence.
Yeah, lay them to rest or something. But I think that's hilarious that she's like, well, I'm here now, might as well.
I think she's more trying to find the body parts because she can't connect the Howl that she has met with this cannibal, this horrible man she has heard about. Yeah. So she's like, if I find evidence, then yes, definitively, these are the same man. Yeah. And then Michael's like, no, I made that up.
Yeah. Michael, fucking icon. What do you think of Michael?
I like him in both the book and the movie.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the only character I don't like is Howl. I don't like Howl in either the book or the movie. And also, so I had this problem with the movie, and the book has not solved it. I don't like the romance. I don't think it's a good romance. I think it is a very poor romance. There's no chemistry. There's no buildup. Why am I to believe these things? In the movie, they add a triangle with the Scarecrow because in the movie, the Scarecrow just is the prince.
Is the prince, yeah.
And she kisses him, and the spell breaks, and the Witch of the Waste is like, oh yes, your true love's kiss, like, will break the curse. And then immediately Sophie is just on Howl because he wakes up. And
she's like, okay, solved one problem, on to the next.
Yeah, and the Witch of the Waste is like, oh man, your true love doesn't love you. And I'm like, savage. And then I read the book, and I'm like, that's not even a thing in the book.
I think the romance, I wouldn't say I don't support it, but I think it is very subtle, and I kind of enjoy that. I know I chose Howl's Moving Castle because of romance for February, and it's not a romance. I think it has a romantic subplot, but it's not, I wouldn't say, a romance.
No, I think it's a romance because I think if you take the romance out of it, the story would have to change and everything. So I think it does fit in the genre. I don't like it. You say it's subtle. I say it's where.
I think I stand by what I said, but I can see how it's like, I knew it was coming, so every time something happened, I'm like, oh, that's it. Also, I have read the book before.
For me, Howl's okay, so there's a weird thing with the age gap and how they are presented, and I think it kind of reflects the time the book was written in.
Sophie is 18, maybe 19, and Howl's turning 20. Or no, he's 27 in 4 months because it's when he reaches 10,000 days, which I Googled is 27 years.
Yeah, so this man is approaching his 30s, and he's heavily infantilized.
Yeah.
He is treated like he is a child over and over and over. And Sophie has barely reached adulthood by any standard, and she is treated as like the matriarch everywhere she goes. She's the matriarch. She is the responsible one. She is the one in charge and everything. And she even harps on it a little bit as she's like, I'm the oldest.
I think that's part of her core is viewing herself as the oldest so she can do nothing but care for other people.
Yeah. And so, and very much, they even label her Howl's mother when she goes to talk to the king and stuff. Yeah. So in honesty, I feel a little icky about her and Hal being romantic, even though he is aware, and that kind of adds to it. He is aware that she is 18. Like, he knows the whole time. And so, like,
He's also, if he's romancing her younger sisters, they're younger than 18.
yeah, I know. Hal himself is icky. I can, like, if he repents after he gets his heart back, that's fine, because it's implied that that behavior is kind of just because he lost his heart.
Yeah.
But and so it's weird curse thing going on with him. But yeah, like Michael and Marta are said to be about the same age, and he's 15, which
Yeah.
means Marta's 15. So Letty's got to be 17 or 18.
Yeah. Or no, because Sophie's 18, so I think she's like 17, 16, 17.
Yeah. They're all born from different women, which also I wanted to bring up that the dad goes through wives. I think his third wife killed him before she died.
What are you talking about?
Sophie's mother died shortly after she was born. Letty's mother died shortly after she was born. Marta's mother is the only one that lived. Yes, because like Sophie and Marta even talk about it. Because Sophie's like, but Marta, she's your mother. And Marta's like, yeah, which is why I'm like her, so I know how she is.
I thought Sophie and Letty are from the same mom.
I don't think so, because I distinctly remember when Sophie was talking about it, thinking like, this man killed 2 wives. Like, didn't like murder them, but.
And I don't think he was murdered by Franny. That's why. Like,
no, he wasn't. I'm being silly.
Okay, I'm like, I really enjoyed at the end where it was like the you know, like, oh, the mom is the cause of all these like bad feelings and stuff. And then she shows up and she's like, I care about you. What happened? Blah blah blah.
No,
and she's
sorry.
like, oh,
I was being facetious with the whole murdering thing. No, the mothers. It is implied the first 2 mothers died in childbirth, or not implied. It's like said that they died giving birth to their daughters, and then finally Marta's mother didn't. But I remember like being silly and thinking he's like, oh, he murdered his wives, and then Marta's mother got to him before he could get to her. Okay. But no, it's that was also unfortunately a very common thing that happened back in the day.
Getting little spam bots. Yeah, I think I liked that in the end it wasn't like the evil stepmother kind of thing, that it was like she took some responsibility for giving Sophie these insecurities and like pushing this life onto her. But also it's kind of implied that mom is kind of young as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like she's just wants to have her own life. And had stayed for the man she loved, but once he died, she's like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I think I liked the sister relationship. I liked that the girls were doing shenanigans in the background. I think it sucks that they're completely erased from, or Letty is in the movie, but not nearly as much. And Marta is a throwaway line. I only watched the first couple of the movie recently. Or like today I watched the first couple minutes. They said that they have a random throwaway line when Howl first appeared. He stole the heart of a girl named Marta over in blah blah blah. And I was like, hello? What? Also back on the Howl age thing, I was like looking up how old each of them were, and when I did so, people online were like, yeah, Howl's in his early 20s, like, and I'm like, no, they actively say how old he is. Like,
yeah, no, they say it.
And then Sophie, I
do want to put an asterisk with books that are. I'm a lot more lenient with books that are older or written like older, because I'm like,
yeah, we were in the 80s.
Looking at books like that with a modern lens isn't entirely fair to the book and stuff. Also, I did enjoy the book. I think my main issue is just that I didn't like the romance, but I like a lot of the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the romance is like one of the like core things of it because it is a romance. But
Okay.
I think it's a romance. I'm gonna look it up just to be
All
sure.
right.
I could be wrong.
I like the just like vibes of the overall book. Like when I
Like
first read it,
sorry, the sisterhood in the book is one of the best parts of it for me.
yes, I thought that you would enjoy that. I really like Sophie's own journey, and that Howl's moving castle. Howl feels almost like an afterthought. Like the movie doesn't like the movie or the book is about Sophie. Like Sophie is the main
Yes.
character wholly and totally. She has an arc. She has like her own powers. She has her own journey. She makes mistakes. Blah blah blah. And it feels like Sophie's story. And then Hal is the love interest, like very rather than like an object of obsession and desire and mystery, which is like kind of the vibe for me in the movie.
So Howl's Moving Castle is primarily classified as a children's fantasy novel that blends elements of magic, adventure, and romance. So
Okay.
that is what the official thing is.
Fun. But yeah, I enjoyed reading it. I like the movie a lot. So I had read the book a couple years ago, and I don't even know if I made it all the way through. I think I did. Because when I read it this time, I was like, yeah, I know what's gonna happen. But I was like, is this from no? And I like how much of an unreliable narrator Sophie is.
Oh yes. All right. So I think that like my final thoughts would be, it is a good book. I liked the book. I didn't love the book, but I did like it, which we know is a low bar for me, but it's fine. They're different bars. And I would definitely like my daughters read this book. I'd encourage my sons to read the book and stuff. I just don't like how he gives me the ick on multiple levels, and it's the weaponized incompetence for me.
Hmm.
So I don't like that. But
Yeah, which is fair. I think part of it for me is like part of what makes it better for me is because he knows that Sophie's not going to give into that shit. Like him being dramatic and everything. If Sophie had given into it, poor Michael. But if Sophie had been like, swayed by it, I would be very much like, ugh. But because they both know, and then the reader knows that she's like, bitch, no, I'm not gonna attend to your every need. Um, Makes it much more palatable for me. But yeah, definitely, I would see that Howl is not a like I think Diana Wynne Jones like literally in interviews, people are like, oh, we love Howl, and she's like, why?
me and Diana, we're like, why would you like him?
I think like I literally saw stuff where she's saying that she's like, he's not like no. Which and is another thing. Like he's just a guy. Like he's not a like he's a guy who plays rugby. Like he's a post grad. Like probably was in college forever because he didn't want to go into the real world. And then he didn't because he went off to a fantasy land. And
Really runs from his has to reverse psychology himself to do it.
he literally, I'm like, he's just a guy. Like he's not a like, oh, I want a man like that. Bitch, no, no.
I think Christian Bale's voice is the main reason people like him from the movie.
Yeah, I mean he's sexier in the movie. And he's hot in the movie. I mean, and he's hot here, but he's lacking
You
substance
can't see it. It's on the page.
or lacking attractive substance. I like how Sophie just like sees him sleeping. It's like, wow, he looks so elegant and nice. Then he wakes up and she's like, but yeah, so I think it's a fun book.
My favorite character in both adaptations is Calcifer. I
Uh,
will
go ahead.
I will say, because I listened to the audiobook, it's kind of funny because like in the movie, Calcifer is like he's like younger, and he's got this younger vibe to him and everything, and he's very ornery and angsty, very like teen rebel.
Yeah,
But in the book, the audiobook, the voice they give him is this scratchy old lady
yeah.
voice. And I'm like, and so instead of being like this ornery teen rebel, he and Sophie arguing just sound like two old ladies.
He's like, I don't want
Each
to.
other. And
He's like,
I love that
I
so
don't want to work. Just like let me fucking like live my life.
And I
And
like
that's
that after they move to the flower shop, and he like complains because he's like, you all leave and stuff, and then I'm here all by myself. She starts being like, Michael, watch the shop an hour a day so I can sit here and gab with Calcifer. And I'm like, they're old lady friends.
Mm-hmm. No, Calcifer is fantastic, and the fact that
I
he is
also appreciate that he is apparently in the minority of falling stars that he's
yeah.
not.
The other one is like, let me die, and he's like, I didn't want to die.
I'm supposed to die.
Yeah. Which is so funny.
Apparently, fire demons are just falling stars that want to leave.
Yeah. And I love that for them. I love that they're like the demons, he's a devil, and it's like, I'm a star.
I'm a star.
I'm a star. I'm a star. So yeah.
I mean, it is kind of like demon, devil, evil thingy ish to be like, in order to live, I need your heart. That is a little.
I was like, let me help you. And Calcifer's like, okay, so.
About that.
Yeah. Also, the fact that Howl and Calcifer are both wanting to get out of the contract. They're like, no, neither one of us want this.
We're like, we didn't know. We were young and dumb. We had no idea.
Like, I feel like Howl isn't 27. Like, that's such an odd age to give him.
He's 10,000 days old.
Yes.
So he's around 27.
I know he actually is 27 in 4 months, but I feel like he's not written as, like, I don't know, so he would be so much more palatable if he was younger.
Yeah, but that's part of the point.
Yeah.
I feel.
I think so too.
Because if he was younger, I could be like, oh yeah, he's just kind of like, you know, but no, he's a full grown ass man acting like a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
And not in the cute way that some of them do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they like have their hobby, and then they like basically turn into little kids about their hobby.
Yes.
Man or woman, I love when somebody gets that way. It's adorable.
Yes. Cool. That's our Howl's Moving Castle book talk. It's not a long book.
'Twas 8.5 hours.
Yeah, 8.5 hours. But it's enjoyable.
Hold on, I'm doing a math thing. It was only 510 minutes, not 10,000.
Yeah.
It is half of Howl's life in minutes.
10,500 are not 10%.
Oh wait, no, I was thinking 1,000.
5% or something like that. Yeah, 5%. We're good at math here at.
I had a migraine start right before the stream. I've been in pain this entire time. But it's fine.
It's fine.
Ooh, a book would have to be 167 hours to be 10,000 minutes.
Oof.
So next time on Book Talk, we find 100.
No, I would quit.
Like, don't you fucking do that to me.
This isn't my job, but I would quit.
No, we're kidding. We are going to be moving from Howl's Moving Castle to A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting by Sophie Irving, which I read either last year or the year before. I read it as part of the year of favorites, and I wanted more, but alas, it is a standalone. So that is part of why I chose it. But yes.
Yeah, I haven't read it. I should probably check it out from the library.
I checked it out from the library. When are we doing this one?
The
The 21st,
21st.
theoretically. The 21st or the 22nd. So, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Time for you to get enough time for you to buy a new puzzle. And
I actually bought 2 new puzzles yesterday.
she says, I am prepared.
They're only 500 pieces this time. So, rather than 1,000. And I have my puzzle trays you got me.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm excited. Okay, I borrowed it from the library. Oh, fuck, it's the wrong library. The other ones? Ugh, a 5-week wait. That doesn't work for me. Okay, I'll figure it out.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.